Hello, and welcome to the 57th Special Moves podcast. My name's Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hey gamers, what a relaxing intro that was.
Yeah, that's a revised. There's quite a lot to talk about this week in a weird way, because there hasn't been a huge amount of gaming news, I suppose, but...
yeah, I guess, unless you like Xbox, in which case
there's been one specific little batch, hasn't there? It's been having a look at the old Eurogamer and stuff.
Yeah.
Fucking boring.
Mm-hmm. And then, Pokemon and Star Wars, which
we've played, me and Liam have just recorded a video about the new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order, which we're both quite keen on, aren't we?
Yeah, I really like it so far.
Yeah.
It's checking all the right boxes, hitting all the right targets.
I haven't seen anything about it, even looked at a review of it. I saw the Metacritic score just when I was waiting for Liam to come and get me. That was it. I can't believe it. So I think... I wasn't even present for the video that you do, so I've got no idea about it at all. Literally no idea about it.
We were just talking about you, really, for 15 minutes.
Look forward to that. I'm looking forward to that, I can tell you.
It's a good game, man. It's a good... Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a good game. It's been a long time coming, and if anything, my overwhelming feeling, especially when we were talking about it in the review, is just like relief. Like, thank God, it's like not a shit game. And I kind of thought beforehand... that it would be, like a low 80s kind of solid, good game. Respawn, I think, weirdly, are like one of my favourite studios at the moment, in that I know that I'm going to enjoy what they're putting out. Cause
they're so consistent. They've not done a game lower than 80 on Metacritic.
No, and
it's their fourth game, I think.
Fourth game,
I think so.
Third IP.
Yeah.
Titanfall.
Apex, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, they've got Medal of Honor as well. They're doing that VR one.
That's what I mean. I would get a
busy team. Yeah. So we've been enjoying Star Wars basically. Liam, you've also been enjoying a bit of Pokemon.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it despite all the storm around it.
Yeah. It's hilarious because it's so nice.
It's funny because there's storms in the game as well.
Oh, is it? All right.
Lovely.
One for the heads. He's sneaking the references in. I figured this was going to be like a non-issue really with the game. Like when it came out, people were just whinging about it and stuff. And then I've just been away, and on the way home, I was on a long train journey with a couple of friends of mine who both had their Switches and were just hooked on it. And like, I got to have a little look at it. Got to look at this. You can make curry in it out of toast.
You can
catch giant Pokemon.
Curry out of toast.
Yeah, mate. I don't know what it is. Well, some sort of cultural appropriation. Yeah. Like, because in Britain, everything's a curry, so you can make a curry out of everything. You can make a curry out of pungent root. What's that one of them? It can make an apple curry, and you can make a toast curry. You can just make anything into a curry.
Mm-hmm.
This game's a joke.
Maybe that's what... Yeah, exactly, yeah. So
that's what all the IGN dislikes are about.
It does go a bit ham on the British mannerisms.
Right,
like, your main friend, rival in the game, nearly every sentence he ends with, mate.
Of course.
Okay.
He's like, "Come on, mate, we're gonna be late, mate."
Yeah, bad stereotype.
But yeah, it's like the sheep everywhere.
There is, and it was like the first thing I saw was there was a thieving little fox, like and like Pokemon called Nick It. Like you would nick it.
I don't know. I'm alright with that. I'm alright with that.
Quite good. And then it's it evolves into Thievul, which is good because it's thief, evil, and of course Vul being like Vulpine, fox-like, innit?
Mm-hmm.
Sick. Good wordplay. That.
Yeah.
My favourite of the new Pokemon so far is called Yamper, and he's basically a Welsh corgi.
Oh,
I've seen these.
Although when he evolves, he looks just more like a like just an average like retriever, Labrador, whatever.
Just a regular dog.
Yeah.
Just a dog.
So
now.
he evolves out of being Welsh into something non-Welsh.
Into just
right. I see
what the internet's all about now, can you?
Yeah. It's weird that this is called Boltund, the evolution of Yamper, and he's somehow become my main.
Oh really?
Never mind my starter.
Like, because I
such a forum burn, isn't it? You fucking Boltund main.
Yeah. You bet you've got a hoot in that party as well, haven't you?
Because he's an electric type and he's a hound. So,
electric hound.
Going back to the naming conventions, it makes sense.
Bolt Hunt, yeah.
Bolt Hunt.
It's good.
And then there's Applin, who
Germanic.
is a literal apple.
Does that evolve?
He does. I can't remember.
Three apples like Magna.
No, he evolves into a dragon. Yeah.
I can't
remember.
I'm the
I
dickhead.
have it, but I can't remember what his evolution is called. But it's like a dragon, but he's got like an apple core for a
That
head.
sounds such a they've gone around all the concept artists and they're like, all right, Yuri, what have you got, mate? And he's like, he's an apple. I've got an apple. And he's like, that's a bit of shit.
What does he evolve into?
Dragon.
Dragon?
Well, the thing with
He's read the room and figured out Apple wasn't
the thing
good
with Pokemon is the shitter the Pokemon looks, usually the better its evolution
Yeah,
is.
sure.
Yeah, the
like
Magikarp
Magikarp into
effect, yeah.
Gyarados and Dratini. Well, I can't diss Dratini. He's my boy.
So this is like quite, to be frank, it's an overused term, but the wholesome content I expected when it was you talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
So to think that in some other corners of the internet, and maybe even the same podcast service that you're using on YouTube, people just having a real massive argument in the comments
to
about
some
it.
people.
Explosive rage.
Yeah.
About the
Appling.
nicest game ever.
How Pokemon became the most controversial game of the year, we don't know, but we do know.
I've got to tell you, right? I had a look at the couple of reviews,
Yeah.
and I saw IGN didn't give it a very favourable review, if I remember rightly.
No, the IGN.
It's on the lower end for Pokemon.
6.8, I think.
IGN. Pokemon.
This
Sun
one,
and Moon.
yeah.
I thought it was like 9.3 or something.
GameSpot gave it a 9.3, right? A high one. Is that the right way around? Or have I got it
I
wrong?
think it's
don't
IGN. IGN really liked it.
I think IGN did give it a high review.
And the
'cause
reason-
a lot of people were like,
No, do you know what I'm thinking of?
Raging
Yeah,
at it.
Death Stranding they gave a 6.3.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember seeing GameSpot's review, and everybody's been saying this is much better than IGN's. You know, there's too much water for the IGN review, and the reviewer for the GameSpot review is the girl that said too much water
Yes.
on IGN,
Yeah.
and they don't even realise. And all the comments are like,
It's
this
because
is-
they're all 11 years old.
Because
weren't
IGN
alive.
is a person in their head, isn't it? IGN is a bad man in their head. But it's literally the Too Much Water girl on GameSpot giving it a good review, and everyone's like, finally,
Yeah.
IGN have been,
I think she's reviewed the last few Pokemon games for them. She's like the in-house Pokemon expert.
exactly. But and
for
IGN have
IGN.
taken the full brunt of that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's got, you know.
I mean, the IGN review. I'm not a massive Pokemon fan, and I haven't been following it, and I can't even begin to try to sympathise with people who are angry about whatever the game's done badly. But the IGN review had like 50,000 dislikes when I had a look at it.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy amounts of energy going into like a game not being quite as perfect as you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And again, you can have a go at me in the comments if you want, because I'm not, I'm totally ignorant of whatever the issue
Nuance
is. It just seems
of the
pretty interesting.
situation.
Exactly, the nuance of the new Pokemon
It's
game.
because they're a passionate fan base at the end of the day, isn't it?
But
Do you
it
know what I mean?
goes beyond passion to being like fucking blind rage. Like when you read some of the comments, it's like,
Yeah.
are you talking about the same game that I'm looking at here? It's
Well,
like-
Game Freak lied trended on Twitter for a
I
bit.
saw that,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
that's my favourite hashtag since Death Stranding, which is when Death Stranding came out.
they were trading
the
it in.
trending one was Stranding without the N. Death Stranding.
That's ace.
Yeah, I thought he'd started some sort of like PLC or something, limited company.
Well, the core of all these issues is that it turns out there was even more stuff cut from the game that Game Freak didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Like the global trade system is gone, which
what was that meant to be?
Yeah, what is this?
so that in the last few Pokemon games, global trade system is just a way for it to make it easy for players around the world to trade Pokemon with each other. Like, it was very easy to use. You literally it was like an eBay listing. You put a
Like a marketplace, yeah.
yeah, like
basically.
you say,
Yeah,
I
cool.
want a Larvitar, and then someone would be like, I'll trade you this for your Larvitar, and you'd be like, cool, accept the trade.
Okay.
And it was like so easy to
Sounds quite good.
get like the version exclusives and all that. And but that's gone. I think they've left it with like a very bare bones version of trading, and I think only Wonder Trade as well. Did they cut that? I can't remember. But Wonder Trade was literally like a surprise trade. You sent a Pokemon out into the ether,
I remember this.
and you got a
Yeah.
random one back.
I think that they introduced that in X and Y.
They did, because I
Because-
used to troll it by sending Bidoofs all the time.
Classic. Do you know what I mean?
Cla-
you know what it's like to receive a
Pokemon
Bidoof,
fans
you know?
will get it if you send Bidoofs out all the time.
What's so funny is I can already sense how old Mike's feeling, because I never felt older, right, than watching someone else play the game
Yeah.
and saying, and because I knew that I'd be talking about it at one point, right, going, oh, is that a new Pokemon? And they're like, nah, this is a couple of gens ago. And I'm going, oh,
Yeah.
is that what a new Pokemon? And it's honestly like a dad
I can imagine
going,
myself
what's
acting.
this now?
Yeah.
But then and it was a hoot from like the second generation of Pokemon,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, is that a new?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Region.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
To the point that I'm pretty sure I could like act the body language quite well. I know exactly what of them going like, nah, it's a couple of generations
Like
ago.
pretend what a doof is. do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
I feel bad for it though because it's been used for trolling. Do you know what I mean? I want a few of them on my team. Team Bidoof over here.
hey, there are people who've done Bidoof playthroughs.
It's like the classic Weedle
It's like playing
It
Dark
is.
Souls on the bongos or something like that.
But, like, as for Sword and Shield itself, I'm enjoying it quite a bit at the minute. Not as much as other Pokemon games. I'm enjoying it more than I did Sun and Moon,
Yeah.
but not as much as I did X and Y or any of the gens
So,
before that.
you know, like, comparatively, is Sun and Moon the previous gen and X and Y is the gen before that?
Yeah, so X and Y was the first ones to go 3D, like fully 3D on
Yeah.
the 3DS. And there was Sun and Moon, and there was Ultra Sun and Moon, which was basically an expansion pack that they charged 35 quid for, which wasn't great at all.
Right.
Now Sword and Shield, which is like the first proper next-gen HD Pokemon.
Main
'Cause-
home console.
Yeah, because people don't count Let's Go. They see that as more of a spin-off, really.
Yeah, / remake.
/ remake.
You know, that's the last one I played, and then before that was X.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm really not like too fussed about the game.
Yeah.
It's one of them where it's like I think maybe a Christmas game. Kind of,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think if it
Yeah.
had came out and it was like, you know, if it was in the high 80s or low 90s, I maybe would have thought about it as a Christmas thing or something. But I'll probably just
Do we know what it is? What's the score?
I think it's like dead on 80 on Metacritic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Pretty
like
low.
it's a decent game. It's not without its issues though. It does feel like it's been trimmed back a bit,
Yeah.
or maybe even they literally just ran out of time to develop the game and had to get it out
I
for
was going to
the
ask you that, but I didn't know
yearly
if it was
deadline.
putting you on a bit of pressure by saying, "Do you think it was rushed?" Because like that's the thing I did see
That's
online.
it does feel rushed. Like the towns especially are like maybe one or two buildings you can walk in, and then the gym and a Pokemon Center.
Okay.
Whereas like older ones were like you could go in every house, you could
Yeah.
talk to NPCs.
Or even since the very first one.
Since the very first one, and later on in the game, it does start to feel like it's funneling you from A to B.
Yeah.
And the dungeons in it, there's not many. I think it's like 4 or 5 dungeons in it, which is an all-time low for Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's usually a straight line, maybe like a slight offshoot. You might find an item at the end of it.
Yeah.
There might be a trainer battle, and then it takes like 10 minutes to get through a dungeon, which is a bit disappointing.
Sometimes you just can feel the corners being cut as well, can you, when you play it? So
And like from what I've read online, people have been saying once you get to the 5th gym, it's basically a straight line to the end.
yeah.
Because they just like, and then I think who was it? Digital Foundry said it. There's one town in the game that is literally one building, 2 buildings you can enter:
Yeah.
the Pokemon Center and the gym. All the other buildings in it like set dressing, which is a bit disappointing. So they've cut down on the world a bit. I think some more unannounced stuff they didn't talk about was they cut some of the moves from it. I'm not sure which ones were cut, but it's nothing I've noticed that I ever used. I think
Right.
the only one I ever used was Karate Chop, which isn't in it anymore, and some items and stuff as well. But on the positive side, I am liking the new Pokemon. I'm sticking to using new ones.
Is there a pigeon?
Is there a pigeon?
There's
Pie Dove, but he's not a new one. He's from 2 gens ago, I think. He's from X and Y.
Dead cert, you know, I was like, there'll be a pigeon.
There is,
do you know,
a
like-
new bird Pokemon who his final evolution is Corviknight, which is quite badass. He's like a steel bird. He looks like a giant raven.
So
Steel Bird, that sounds pretty 80s. That's,
yeah. That's the Ace Combat sequel. Where
Yeah.
Yes.
Arsenal Bird is that original, isn't
Arsenal bird. But yeah, it's like the new Pokemon. I actually quite like their designs. They feel thoroughly British.
it? They did look, from what I saw, the ones that I did say they knew, and the answer was
Yeah,
yeah.
it's-
Like, they all look nice.
It's
Yeah,
been
they
a
were
bit of
wearing
a,
top hats and shit like that. And
yeah.
I've
I've caught a Farfetch'd. I need to evolve him into Surfetch'd.
Oh, that's exclusive of one of the games, Sword or Shield, right? So,
Sword, I think,
Yeah, that's it. And he's the
He's got a
Duck of the
leak for a sword, yeah.
and then he.
But then there's Coughing as well, but he looks like, well, people say he looks like a bong, but he's meant to be like an industrial stovepipe. He looks like a
Classic
bong.
mistake, I guess.
It's meant to look like a stovetop hat.
that sounds
and
like a bad Japanese translation to me. It's like, he's coughing the industrial stovepipe.
Well, you know, Coughing and Wheezing from the original gen.
Yeah.
It's just like his Galarian variant. Meowth has got a new variant. He looks like a Cheshire cat.
I've seen
It's
that.
fucking terrifying when you encounter him.
Did you have to pretend you know what Galarian variant?
No, I was just imagining that. I hope there's a line in there that's like, "How you doing, me old Galarian variant?" Do you know what I mean?
There probably is somewhere. I don't know. Like
Seeing as they're jumping on all these stereotypes and tropes and that.
they are
Danny
going.
Dye's
They're going
saying
like. Well, one of the very first Pokemon you see is a sheep who literally just keeps trying to break a fence called Wooloo.
That's a good name.
But like, I like my starter. I went for Grookey. I've got him to his final evolution. I don't know how.
Is he the grass type?
He's the grass monkey, yeah, and he's basically a gorilla now. It's literally called Rillaboom,
Sick.
and he's got a giant drum, and his special attack is literally like
Smashes the drum.
smashes the drum and makes sound waves. To
What was he called again?
Rillaboom.
Rillaboom, like
I
gorilla.
do you know what I like? The old,
He's
how's your Rillaboom doing now? Oh, he's a gorilla now. He's going well. He's doing.
He's evolved.
Yeah,
You know.
It's like
Like-
talking about your kids or something. Like, it's quite nice.
Like it's a bit of a mixed bag though. This Pokemon for me, it does some stuff very well. Like for new Pokemon, I think are great.
Yeah.
It looks nice. There's a lot of nice effects going on and stuff. The Dynamax battles they're fun for the first few times, but when you've done like 10 of them in a row trying to catch Pokemon, they can get a bit boring.
Yeah.
And they're usually very easy to win, even though these are meant to be like some of the harder battles in the
Yeah.
game. You can still like one shot them.
Yeah, I
Or
saw
bark and
Kale
no
one
bite
shot.
sort of thing.
Yeah, but like to do them, you can either team up with trainers in your local area, so anyone else is playing on their Switch,
That's cool.
or you can just use like AI partners. They're not the cleverest, but they get the job done.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know what else.
It sounds like there are some good things there, and that's the thing when you
Yeah.
see people raging about it. It's like just
um,
pure rage. And,
The wild area is quite nice. That's probably the biggest change.
okay.
That's the,
Hyrule Field.
it's the big Hyrule Field looking place where you can actually run into Pokemon who are too powerful for you and will wreck
That's
you.
good.
So you have to like run away from them because you got no
It
chances.
sounds
Yeah.
like this whole thing is like all the good shit is the new shit. Like they've put loads of time and effort in. They've missed some deadlines, and then they're like, "Right, guys,
Yeah.
now time to put all the old stuff in." And they were like, "We didn't agree to this."
Yeah.
So then they just cut a load of shit, old stuff,
Yeah.
because it's all the
Yeah.
old stuff being cut, right? So it seems like they must have put a lot of care into the new shit being added for this to happen. But
Yeah.
I don't know
I think
anything. You know?
at the end of it all, I think for the next Pokemon game, take a year or two off.
Yeah.
Is my general feeling. Like I still like Sword and Shield. It's still a good game, but you can feel there is something missing there.
Yeah.
So I can't. You
Loads
can't
of
like,
Pokemon for starters.
well, yeah, over 400
Oh,
Pokemon.
see, you like that knowledge there, didn't you?
So yeah, you can't begrudge the people who've got issues with it because
Yeah.
those issues are perfectly valid, to be honest. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think Game Freak probably just needs to take a year or two off and
Remake Pokemon Gold in this engine.
do that, and I'll be happy.
That
Well,
sounds really good, though. That sounds...
If
Yeah,
they
I was
do
thinking,
Gold
I'm
and
joking.
Silver, like Let's Go, and I'll buy every copy.
Yeah.
That's next, sure.
It's surely, but yeah, like the next mainline game, just do an Assassin's Creed of it. Take a break.
Yeah.
Like take a break.
Yeah,
Take
but
Liam's
don't do an
advice,
Assassin's
alright?
Creed
Like-
in all other aspects.
And for everybody
Like,
else waiting to be angry
hell.
about a very cute looking game, don't worry, because we're only a couple of months away from Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing Pocket thing has got subscriptions now, so that's...
What mobile game hasn't? They've all got
That'll,
subscription
that'll
services
tide
now.
you over.
But it's the Animal Crossing fans that are going to be raging, isn't it? You can bet that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe even do a full Assassin's Creed with it. Reinvent the gameplay, change it up a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Take it
yeah.
to ancient Greece, innit?
Yeah. There is quite some as an artist on Twitter who's done a bunch of fun concept art saying what if Pokemon was in Australia, and they've leaned into
Sounds
the
alright, though.
Yeah.
they've leaned into the full stereotypes of it, made like a kangaroo Pokemon.
Yeah,
So
They've
yeah.
got a
It's,
didgeridoo.
it's like a natural wilderness. It makes a lot of sense.
I think
Ebola.
Kotaku did an article covering it, and there's some quite funny stuff in it. Like they should call it Pokemon Yeah and Pokemon Nah. It's the titles. So-
It can happen, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, just take a break, Game Freak. Just
If
let
you're
it rest.
listening,
If
Sit
you're listening,
down.
if you're listening,
Game Freak.
I say this from a position of love.
yeah.
I'm liking Sword and Shield. It does feel a bit lacking in some respects. It's still a good game, though, I think.
So that was Liam's thoughts on the new Pokemon game, which came out on the same day as the Star Wars game.
Mhm.
Jacob, what have you been playing, mate?
Legends of Runeterra is pretty much all I've been playing. Oh, or Death Stranding. Which one did you want to ask me about?
Well, that one that you said first.
Oh, sure. All right. Well,
Give us a little teaser for the thing that's to come, innit?
Yeah. Well, listen. I'll tell you what's going on, guys. I'll lay the foundations out now. I'm in the Legends of Runeterra, which is like the private beta for the new card game by the League of Legends people, Riot Games, who have very cleverly decided to expand their empire from League of Legends, which is a hugely popular game that I'm sure everybody's heard of by now. And if you haven't, there's like a documentary on Netflix about it, actually.
Yeah.
But it's like one of the biggest games ever. It's one of the big founding MOBAs. It's massive, and it's got this big roster of like heroes and stuff like that. But I think they wanted to pull a bit of a Blizzard and expand into a really strong set of IPs, kind of based in the same universe. So they're working on a lot of different titles now. Like, I don't know how many of these are rumors or how many of them are confirmed, but there's supposed to be a first-person shooter in the works, and
in League of Legends universe. All right.
Yeah, and a Diablo-esque territory thing. But this is basically Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
But in the League of Legends world, which is a bit of a, I don't know. Like, I like Magic the Gathering, and Hearthstone, like, it was okay. Like, it's basically just like a less detailed version of that, but lots of those card games you kind of play because you like the detail and stuff. So it doesn't really, I don't know who, it was appealing to obviously a huge amount of people because it did massive. I dare say it's probably more popular than Magic the Gathering at some points, and it's
what, Hearthstone?
Yeah,
definitely.
Magic the Gathering's kind of going through a bit of a resurgence at the moment because Wizards of the Coast are going for a massive resurgence. Like D&D's booming, tabletop games are coming back. Games with like physical, tangible things that like that's really coming back. People are really getting into that. Anyway, so these guys are making this fucking Hearthstone Magic the Gathering game called Legends of Runeterra, and I'm in. I've got it on PC. I've got it on my phone. I've been playing it today, but I want to make sure I get a real good feel of all the different decks, how they all play. I'll be able to compare it to Hearthstone. I'll definitely be able to compare it to Magic the Gathering, and then I'll let you know. I want to do a separate video on it because I think it'll be really good, and I've got a really good feeling about this. I played it like at EGX, which is the big gaming convention here in the UK, and it just, you know, sometimes when you just know something's going to be a hit, like, I sound like I'm fucking Simon Cowell or something.
It's like a music producer.
Yeah. You just like, it's got something to it. Like they've managed to take away all the gripes that people have about these types of games, like RNG. You know, you can just buy any card you want directly, which is the good thing about Magic the Gathering in real life. Like, you can go on a website or go on eBay, you can buy a card that you need, because of course, like, when you get to like quite a high rank on these types of games, like, you'll normally pick like a colour or like a style of play. So then if you pull a really rare, like, let's say a white card, you could trade it and get a really rare black card or something like that, right? The fact that you can do this digitally, because that's the thing about Hearthstone and digital games, is like, they could take that away. They could make it so people had to buy stuff and whatever, and that was great thing for their revenue and a really clever idea, and it really worked and made a lot of money for Blizzard. But now Riot Games have decided, let's give players that choice again, let's give players the opportunity to be able to see what things are like without an element of luck in the card gaining sense. So there's like crafting materials in it and things like that where you can like mimic cards and mirror cards, but you can also buy cards directly. And I want to have a proper look. I want to do a bit of a deep dive into it this week, and then I'll come back next week and do a whole video on it, I reckon, because I really like, I want to get on with this at the ground floor because I really think it's going to be good. And that's the only thing about Magic is, well, I was like 20 years too young to get into it on the ground floor. And Hearthstone, it's like, I was always quite into it, but I didn't know enough about like the sort of meta at that time to get it. But now I feel like I'm a fledgling card player no longer, and I can go in at this and play. I'm going to play it ranked. I'm going to try and play it properly.
Watch out, everyone.
You know what I mean, though? Like, because I need someone else to do other than play Apex Legends, so might as well do this. But yeah, so that's Legends of Runeterra, and I'm really excited to say I'm in, baby. If anyone else is in and you want to have a couple of games with me, just find me on there if you want.
Very good, very good. So we'll have a video probably next week on that, or the week after. No pressure, Jake, innit? Do you know what I mean? Put your feet up, baby. Take your time.
Thanks, man.
So I've been playing a lot of Star Wars. I also played a bit of Halo Wars 2. So I haven't actually touched Death Stranding since we talked about it last weekend, which is really bad.
We've both finished it now.
Yeah.
Jake is pointing at Liam. I have not finished it. So I played a bit of Halo Wars 2, which is quite nice. But I finished it in like it's an RTS. Yeah, I finished it in like 5 hours.
It's a shorter campaign.
I
It's
remember
so
it being
short. It's so short.
I remember doing the same, beating it in like 2 or 3 afternoons.
It's crazy. But I finished that. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I should have been playing Death Stranding really, which both of you guys have
You
finished
like
it.
what you like. don't you? Sometimes you're just in a mood to replay something.
I'm very driven by that as well. Like if I don't feel like I quite fancy playing Death Stranding, I'll play something else. But so have your opinion shifted since you finished it, or are you still roughly in the same place?
I'm in the same place.
Well,
I
was
think.
I?
I don't know. You're very warm.
You were very positive.
Yeah.
If I remember, you called it a slammer.
Yeah, I compare it to Slammer.
Yeah.
I think me and Liam have been discussing it I know me and Liam and yeah, we agreed that it's
You
like
just have to check with your lawyers.
no, we both think it's really, really good. I think it's closer to a 9 than what Liam would say. Liam was saying an 8.5. I'm saying like
8.5.
8.7. Like
Okay.
I don't quite understand how people are so confused by it, especially by the end. On it, like you seen it because it was in a WhatsApp group, but Liam advised me to make a hot drink and sit back during the last chapter, which is an hour and a half of exposition.
Yeah.
So I was away this week.
Basically, cutscenes.
Yeah,
So a bit of interactivity thrown in there to
Well,
keep you going.
Here's something that I found interesting. Yeah, so Sean, my wife, she's not really into the old video games, and she watches it all the time because it's on the telly and that, but she's not into it. But she was quite into the story of this one. And I've just been away in London, and I came back home, and I was a bit tired, and I wanted to watch some stuff on Netflix. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bonus podcast. If you're a patron, we've got a bonus podcast, and you can hear us talking about all the different stuff. Anyway, I didn't really want to play Death Stranding because Liam had told me that it was like a big slog full of exposition for an hour and a half.
It's a settle in moment at the end.
Sean was like, I want to see what happens. So I played the last hour, and I watched the last hour and a half.
Yeah. Your PlayStation controller went off.
No, I tried to do that to save the battery, but it says you've turned your controller off, plug it back in.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know. So you need to hold the controller.
Yeah.
I really liked the ending. I thought it was cool. It is very similar to two big, maybe not pop culture, but two things that me and Liam are very much into, right?
Okay.
I don't want to say what they are, though. They are very, very similar to the point where, first thing I did when I finished the game was I Googled this other thing, TV show,
which if you revealed it would be a spoiler in it.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So there's a TV show that is basically Death Stranding's ending, right? I think so. Anyway, to a lot of the degree, and I googled it, and I was like, well surprised there was not articles. Yeah. There's a couple of YouTube videos about it with shots from the show and the game side by side.
Yeah.
And the themes are all that, and then there's like a bunch of forum posts and Reddit posts and shit. But no reviewers have clocked it yet. But I'll be very surprised.
Interesting.
So, I don't know when the proper. Let's say maybe around Christmas, I'll finally say it. I think because I don't know when it. I want to kind of talk about it on camera.
What's acceptable?
Like
the
when's
full
the statute of limitations?
Well, maybe we'll do a spoiler video.
Yeah, because
near
we
Christmas
did
or
for Red
something.
Dead last year, but it was let's do it.
Should we think
wait
about
for you
that
to
then?
finish it? Eh?
Yeah, cool. All right. So it'll be sometime in 2 years.
Yeah.
We actually got a couple of emails about Death Stranding, which I picked out because I quite liked them.
Okay.
If you want to send us an email, the address is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. And this one is from Blake Irwin, who's from Denver in America.
You have quite a few Blakes.
We've got a lot
I
of
don't know
Blakes.
if the Blakes are on the up, or if we just
Blake Walden is the king of the Blakes, isn't he? He's
exactly
regular.
We're a pro Blake channel,
But I'm sure you're great too, Blake Irwin. Let's read your email.
Yeah.
Blake says, "Dear Special Moves, I've been strapped into the roller coaster of trailers and information on Death Stranding over the past several years. That's no joke. That's one thing that everyone needs to remember. Yeah, this has had one of the biggest lead-ins to a game. Like in terms of expectation and duration.
Oh yeah.
It's been up there for
been
so
going
long.
on I'll give you that quick example. Not to I won't derail it for too long.
Go on.
Me and Liam both figured out one of the twists of Death Stranding months ago. I didn't know that there was a search function on WhatsApp. I found one of the messages was from May, and the other message was from November last year. All right, there we go.
Exactly, and it's been like very high on the gaming agenda for a long time. Anyway, when the review embargo was lifted, I started reading and watching reviews. I kept hearing the same things in every review, mainly that this game was weird. People said that they'd never seen a game like it, and a lot of reviewers just seemed completely perplexed as to what it was they were even playing. My favourite thing that people said was, "I'm not even sure I enjoyed it," or "It took 15 hours to get good," or I even watched a video that said it had the worst intro to any game in recent memory. And then I played it. I was so blown away by how hyperbolic every reviewer was being. The game definitely had an odd presentation with a bit too much exposition at first, along with some quirky mechanics that we hadn't seen before, but other than that, it was a great game. You traverse a beautifully realised open world with a few mechanics added in to make the traversal more engaging and challenging, and then you occasionally had to use stealth mechanics like crouching, holding your breath, hiding in tall grass, and moving slowly to sneak past enemies or steal things. The only difference is, you're not holding a gun while you're doing it. I think people had built up Death Stranding to be so bizarre in their heads that by the time they got their hands on it, they had already made their mind up about it. Some people had already decided to hate it for being pretentious. Some people had already decided to love it for being Kojima Unleashed. And then there were people like me, and I think all of you who just played a game with an open mind and found a new take on a familiar open world game with a unique presentation. Sorry for such a long email. Cheers from Denver, Blake.
Colorado.
Yes.
Nice.
I believe so.
Shouts out Colorado and Denver and Blake. But I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's a very good email, that. That's a good email.
That's kind of what I was saying last week, right? I was confused that everyone was so confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not to be a dick, but the story is obvious. He fucking beats you over the head of it. The characters just say, everything is so literal. Why is this guy called Dead Man? Because he's dead and a man. You know, blah, 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 blah. Well, not, he's made out of dead men or whatever in it, but whatever. Why is Fragile called Fragile? Because she's fragile, but she's not that fragile.
Why is Hartman called Hartman? Because he has a heart attack every 26 minutes.
And you know what?
That is literally... That's not a spoiler either, because it was in the trailer.
Do you know what, Liam? You should be delivering Kojima exposition, because that was fucking amazing. Kojima's the stories.
That was
without
more efficient
delivery.
than Kojima. Kojima tells you that 3 times.
Yeah.
And then,
It'll
he
take
sends
like
you
a
an email.
half-hour cutscene to
That's
tell
another
you
thing
that,
as well, yeah. Like, just in case it wasn't obvious enough, right? In the game, you can go to like a private room, which is like basically like your checkpoint room, and where you go to like replenish all your stamina bars
And look
shit.
at Norman Reedus.
And look at Norman Reedus.
Slam
Check
a
on your little
monster.
baby and slam some monster. But like, there's like an email inbox there where it sends you follow-up emails just to make sure you've really got the picture. They're like, oh, so you've met Hartman, who has a heart attack every 26 minutes. That was weird, wasn't it? You think, alright, I fucking get it, man, I fucking get it.
Then you get another email that's like, that's 26 minutes. That's only 4 minutes less than half an hour.
Exactly, you know. But it's, I think that's another thing as well. Like, I don't know if it's because, well, you know what, yeah? Journalists obviously play loads of games because it's their fucking job, so I don't know why they would say shit like they've never played a game like it, because it is. You can't definitely say it's a bit of this and a bit of this and a bit of this and a bit of this.
Yeah.
It's not. And
which is definitely the case for some games, like Star Wars, the Jedi one.
This new one.
Yeah.
Alright. Because this is like, yeah, you're right, the gun thing is the big difference, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that I think that it's the exposition style and that's the key thing as well. I think is visually and the imagery, and especially early on, all the stuff you've seen in the trailers, which is the stuff that's early on in the game. You know, that is weird stuff. It's cool stuff. It's like, you know, for me it was pretty Lovecrafty. It was like whales and tentacles and all sorts of nice sea-based stuff, sea-based horrors. You know, up to including giant cosmic looking monsters and things, and you know, but it was just giving you, it was done in a very sort of that, you know, that Kojima, or it's not even Kojima, is it? It's the Shinkawa, his design partner, who, you know, comes up with this really striking visual look, and it's in that sci-fi universe, and it is it's intended to begin with to make you go, oh, this is new. This is like a new, confusing world that I'm stepping into here. Yeah. But the beats are ultimately like, you know, cause I don't know because I haven't played it, but from what you're saying, the beats are ultimately like.
Yeah, the only thing that's like obtuse purposefully is like, and this is not. I'm going to say it. I think it's not a spoiler, but like, as soon as you go into the private room for the very first time, whenever you leave the private room, which happens even as early as chapter 1, right, guys? So you start seeing flashbacks of this man who's played by Mads Mikkelsen, and you don't know anything. Like, it's obviously not happening right now. It's like some weird flashback, and
seems to be when he's going to sleep or something.
yeah, and that is told. And as far as I know, this is told randomly. They're snippets. Every time you go into the room and then you go back out, and you plug in BB, you get these flashbacks that happen, and it's seemingly told out of order, and it's just confusing on purpose. Like, it's giving you like a snippet of something out of order on purpose. Other than that, everything else is really pretty straightforward.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the fuss is about with all the confusion, but everyone else's critique about it being like, I don't know, slow to play it, I can get it. Backtracking, I fucking get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of backtracking in the game.
And it ultimately, traversal is a big part of the game, like moving and
Core gameplay mechanic, really, isn't it?
It's like, by the way, I saw some making of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, right? And the island where Luke Skywalker is.
Yeah.
Getting up to the top of that, all the crew had to carry the kit up on foot. Guess what they fucking look like?
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's iconic look, that.
So that was a few years ago now. So visually, I wonder where the idea came from. Do you know what I mean? I think it's an interesting point.
Right, I see.
So So it's I think it is an like the expectation is definitely a really interesting talking point, and I think it is going to be one of the things that people will talk about when they talk about this game in the future. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and they will. People, and this is another thing to think of, right? Especially if you finished it, you'll remember this game.
Yeah.
It's memorable, and I do think it's iconic.
Yeah.
Because I think it's everything a good game is, really. Like, I will think about this game for, like next gen. I'll think about some of the highlights of this gen. This is one of them, because it's just, even if some of the moment-to-moment gameplay is like, oh, this again, the overall grand scheme of things was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I hope I just forget like the inventory and the menus and stuff.
You will. That's the thing.
That's the stuff that I'm not.
You do remember the good stuff, but you forget the mundane. That's why people think music was better like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They forget all the shit bands.
They forget all the hits. Well, they remember all the hits. Sorry, they forget all the other stuff.
Got another Death Stranding flavoured email as well.
I'd love it if it was just, I hate Death Stranding.
No, this one's from Matt Whitehorn, who says, "Hey gamers." That's the new Special Moves catchphrase.
Yes.
Well, people are taking. I said it, didn't I? I've seen other people saying it online.
Yeah.
Listen,
bastards.
Fight every single
We said
one.
it first, though.
Yeah.
Hey gamers, I've been a long time listener and watcher since the early Pretty Good Gaming days, and remember thinking, who's that guy, when I eventually saw Jake in a video. I live in Southampton, born in South Africa, and grew up in 5 different countries before here. I work in a building society, and my primary listening time is while driving and walking to work. Excellent detail, Matt.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Very valuable.
It sounds sarcastic, but it's not.
That's like a key,
nice.
people want to know. I tend to play games a year or two after release because they're cheaper and I have such a massive back catalogue. I was wondering what your thoughts on this were, and especially how it might affect games like Death Stranding. While it's a single-player experience, but the world is affected by other players, what will my experience be like playing Death Stranding? Well, he actually says DS in 2021. Ironically enough, could be talking about Dark Souls, isn't it? Which has got exactly the same mechanic. Discuss. P.S. Love you guys and everything you put out. Keep it up.
Hey, thank you very much, man. I hope you're enjoying your walk and it's keeping warm, because it's getting pretty cold, Dan. And I can imagine Southampton's very windy. Yeah, you know what? This is true, Dark Souls is a bit of a different one, though, because the fan base is nuts. And same with Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Bloodborne is like every year people go back to it, right? And like it's actually an event that happens on
Return to Yharnam.
Could you guys see yourselves replaying Death Stranding?
Oof. Do you know what? Right?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That is a good question.
Like,
because do you know what? Right?
I don't think so.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I feel like you've done it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I started playing The Last of Us again, and I got bored by the gameplay moment to moment.
Well, I actually replayed The Last of Us again like 2 months ago
with the PS Plus.
Shit.
Yeah, I just felt like playing through it.
How did it hold up, the gameplay?
Again, it was, I forgot the mundane, and I remembered all the high points.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and I was playing it on not grounded, the one below grounded.
Yeah.
So the second hardest difficulty.
Yeah.
And I fucking sneaking through the clickers and then instantly seeing you, but you can't fight him off because you haven't got a shiv, stuff
It's
like that.
irritating.
I forgot how irritating that stuff was, but I think it holds up well. Maybe not as much as when I played it on release.
That's what I mean with Death Stranding. I'd like to see the story again and whatever, but
I think with Death Stranding, there's more bits I might rewatch it on YouTube.
exactly.
Just to like
I was just about
revisit
to
the
say,
high
you know,
moments.
There is already a video on YouTube which is the full cutscenes back to back. So if you want to do that, you can do it.
Like,
because you don't need to do it. The music is nice, and maybe you could plot a different route. But I don't know if I would go back to it. I'm happy where I am with it, and I really, really like it, and I really see the value in it. But it's 30 hours as well. Last of Us, you could probably get through it in what, 15, 20?
Yeah.
Especially if you know what you're doing. But
especially if you know where the planks go and stuff in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Picking up them planks, all them Last of Us planks.
When I was replaying
Yellow
Last of Us, it was like at a point where I was just waiting for like the NPC or whatever to catch up with me.
Yeah.
So I'd already placed the plank, ran ahead,
you know exactly
opened the
what you're doing.
door, got all the ammo.
It's you know what, I'll say this about Death Stranding, right? There's loads of parts where you are traversing and players transportation models and stuff is all there and that, and they can help you.
So that's what he's asking about, is it?
But well, this is it actually, and I hope again this isn't. I don't think this is a spoiler, so I'm gonna go mad, right? Loads of the game story purposely puts you, because you remember your whole plot of the game is you're supposed to connect America, supposed to connect get everything connected to the chiral network, and it's only when things are on the chiral network you can see other players' shit. But the majority of the game is you venturing into these places without the network. So actually, the game tricks you a lot of the time, because unless you're backtracking, loads of the venturing forth, you don't see other people's stuff. Apart from NPC stuff, which will be there when he plays it. So when you're backtracking or if you're mopping up side quests or something, it might be different, it might be slower, but a lot of like people don't mention this enough. I don't think loads of the game is still a solitary mission because you're not connecting. So that's what I think.
Interesting thoughts. I mean, I think leaving it is probably a good idea, if anything, because then you can all the noise dies down and you can just play it for what it is.
You can play it without any, whether subconsciously or consciously, other people's opinions.
Exactly. So, ringing in your ears.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the new games? Well, new game and new game platform?
What?
That's right.
That's the thumbnail, is it?
Yeah. Take a photo of my face doing that.
Yeah.
Win YouTube.
Yeah.
Red writing in there for good measure.
Google Stadia is out this week.
Yeah.
It is.
November the 19th,
the
which
same
is
day
Tuesday.
that this podcast goes live.
Yeah.
So listen from the future, don't you know?
I think we'll have a more successful launch, to be honest.
Oh, all right, Liam, give us a bit of background, mate. Give us a bit of context to that snide remark.
So, recently, the Google Stadia developers did an AMA on Reddit.
Yeah.
Which is like a
Q&A
session.
Stands for Ask Me Anything.
Yeah.
And it turns out a lot of Stadia's features aren't actually going to be there at launch.
What is Stadia at all, to begin with?
So if you don't know what Stadia is, it is a game streaming service, and not streaming as in like Game Pass, you download the game.
Yeah.
It's streaming as in like you'd stream a show on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever.
The Netflix of games,
Yeah.
which we hear all the time.
Which we hear all the time. The entire idea being that you don't need a console or any hardware to play games. You can stream it over your broadband connection to your TV, your phone, your PC, whatever, your laptop.
Yeah, tablets, anything with a screen, basically. Yeah.
And it's Google's big push into gaming. But apparently most of the features aren't actually going to be there at launch. Like, it doesn't even have a UI at launch. The only way you can buy games, because that's the thing, you have to buy games on Stadia. It does have a subscription with it, but that's only if you want to play those games at 4K with 5.1 surround sound.
So that's like Netflix, isn't it? That you pay extra on Netflix for the exact same thing, but in 4K.
So, like, but other than that, you have to buy games at presumably full price. I think they've even said full price.
That is a shocking business decision.
It is full price, yeah.
So you'll be seeing like Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 40 quid probably.
Crazy.
And the only way to buy games is you have to do it through the Google Store on your phone or your tablet.
Yeah.
And if you've got a Chromecast Ultra, it won't work on it unless you've got the Google Stadia Founders Edition, which itself has been delayed to ship into people who pre-ordered it.
It's
not going well.
Google. Do you know what I mean?
This is Google.
This is
Google.
It's weird, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's shaping up to be more of a beta test than an actual launch of a new game platform.
Because like the Founders Edition was quite pricey. I think was it like 160 quid.
100.
What you getting at?
You get a controller, a Chromecast Ultra that you can plug into anything with a HDMI port.
And you got to pick your username from the second that you pre-ordered.
You got to reserve your username.
So you could have like Jake or whatever, which is pretty sick.
I think you got like a year or so as Stadia Pro as well.
Right.
Which is the thing that lets you play it 4K.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and it includes... If you got Stadia Pro, subscription includes the Destiny Complete Edition.
Yeah, you get the proper Destiny.
Shadowkeep and everything before it.
Yeah.
So, if you did order the Founders Edition, though, it's not even being dispatched until, like, the day before. So today, when we're recording this. Yeah. And that's only the first wave, but they haven't got enough hardware. So, like, it's been delayed now. So people who pre-ordered it in, like, May... won't even get it until the 30th of November.
Yeah.
But they get access to play it within the browser from now.
Which you can do on anything with a Chrome browser.
Yeah. But they don't get to have their nice Google control.
If you think about if you forget the limitations, like the broadband limitations and stuff. Yeah. You can play games on any device.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds really good, right?
Sick.
But then you start putting like reality on top of that. First of all, the cost.
Yeah.
Second of all, download speeds and download just consistency. I can't imagine playing Destiny on it, and I'm playing on a PlayStation where it runs like fucking 10 FPS or something. It's just
don't do the PlayStation like that.
It's
at least 20.
It's actually a solid 30 on Destiny.
Yeah,
no
Digital
joke.
Foundry
No joke.
got a lot of
I'll tell you something. Yeah. Like, with all this, like, the idea sounds good. The most exciting thing for me was the state sharing thing. Can you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you take a picture, like you're sharing something on YouTube, you can get a timestamp. So if you're sending somebody, like, a banger in a DJ mix, which is
I'm always doing that.
I know, that's what I thought it was relatable. Like, you can do that. But imagine doing that, like, Dark Souls, innit? Like, imagine, like, my little sister saying, Jake, I'm stuck on fucking Bloodstar Beast or whatever. Send it over, get it back, send the link.
You get mercenaries on eBay, innit? Like, I'll do your boss.
That's
10
exactly it. I don't know how it's going to go. Like, so
that's not going to be in a launch either, is it?
Yeah, well, I couldn't. No, because nothing is going to be in
the UI isn't. The shop isn't.
Games, nah.
I don't know, because like we're launching Darksiders Genesis on the 5th of December.
That's not special moves. That's Jake's PR.
Yeah. No, imagine if it was us. Imagine if somehow we're
also doing a bit of PR. We're also doing a bit of marketing.
Sorry, I meant the royal we. Sorry. My company and THQ are launching Darksiders Genesis on PC and Stadia on the 5th of December, right? But the point I'm trying to make is I haven't heard anything back. Well, I don't know how the codes things. That's what I'm interested in on my side, and that's what I'm sure journalists are interested in. Like, is there going to be like early copies going out? Can you send people press copies? So when they eventually, because the point is they're going to be doing exclusive soon, exclusive launches. Orcs Must Die 3, which is a coveted title in my opinion.
They've got one exclusive at launch.
I think me and Jake are that game's entire audience, and neither of us are going to play it.
I'll get you can get like a free version of Google Stadia, I think, at that point.
Okay. Yeah, you just have to buy the game.
Yeah, so I'll get this is what I mean. Do I have to buy it? Because can I not just get an early code? But I don't even know if that works. That's what I mean. Yeah. There's so many like.
But then what kind of like fiber performance do you need to make it work properly?
Probably better than ours.
I think they have got a tool a browser tool that you can run, and it'll tell you what you can expect to run it at. I remember running it at home, and I think it said you can do 1080, but 4K is off the table.
Yeah, okay.
And it seems fine to me. Like some of it's, but
for me, it's going to be like 6 pixels every 2 hours.
It'll be The Witcher 3 on Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's I for us here in Wales, it's like a fucking.
It's probably not feasible.
It's
at this
nothing.
point.
So do you know what though? There will be people listening in that are probably living in a cool area. Like I don't know what Denver, Colorado is like, Blake Owen, but like. There's people that live in California that listen to us.
You live in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It'll probably be good.
If you're there, like, this must sound good to you, right? Or no? I don't know what you guys are thinking. Well, that's the thing.
I think the value proposition isn't great either, is
Paying for the games. If the games is cheaper, like...
If it was a straight subscription, I can 100%, I can see that,
Even if it was quite pricey, like 20 quid a month.
Well, if you've got PlayStation Now numbers...
Complete library.
Yeah, for 20 quid a month.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah,
because PlayStation Now gives I don't know what it is now, but for a long time it was $12.99, and you could only stream, and you could only stream onto PlayStation 4
Yeah.
or whatever. Well, it was like limited,
Yeah.
whatever the
They
hardware was.
added the ability to download PS4 games.
Yeah,
way
and,
later on.
and I think the price has changed a little
It's
bit.
changed a bit, and now
Yeah.
you can stream on PC as well. So
Yes.
Yes.
But this the proposition with Google Stadia is theoretically stream on anything, and it's it's a PC selection of games, so it's a different selection of games, and I don't know.
Paying for something, like paying to include lag into a single player experience.
Yeah, no.
Is not something anybody would do, right? And lag is still an issue for many of us. I sound like a charity advert. Lag is an issue that affects many people around the world.
Yeah.
And if you're like a city dweller, then you don't know or care, but it still is, and it just seems preposterous. I'm interested to see how it goes, though. I want it to succeed in a way, but at the same time, I do like a good old single player offline game.
I just it feels the idea of it still feels so.
It feels rushed to market.
Yeah, it feels just too early anyway.
Yeah.
It feels like
It's definitely been tested by people in like San Francisco, Silicon Valley, and it worked
they had
perfectly
the-
there.
same kind of people who thought OneLive was a good idea. Do you know what I mean?
They had
Yeah.
the Project Stream thing, didn't they? That was meant to be a public trial of
Right.
what would become Stadia
Yeah,
with Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
And you could.
So- But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I can't see myself even
No.
wanting to try it, to be honest.
No.
Like, I'm sure it'll work well in some parts of the world, but
I'll get the free version and give it a spin.
You enjoy that, mate.
Yeah, it's for us. Do you know what I mean? It's for
Yeah,
us, for the
it's
greater good, isn't it?
So that's out, and Shenmue III on PS4 and PC,
Oh, yeah.
same day. Seems like it's been a long time coming. I saw a trailer of this the other day. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Is it? Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah?
It's fucking well
when
bad.
was it announced? 2015?
It was the same year that Final
Final
Fantasy 15 remake.
They were like back-to-back
back-to-back,
announcements, weren't they?
I am stunned that this is a new game that's coming out on Tuesday.
And
looking
well,
at
it's
it.
funny that you should say it comes out on Tuesday because the review embargo is Thursday.
Well, they backtracked that.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
now the same
yeah.
fair play then.
They went on Twitter and clarified. They said, sorry, it was a miscommunication.
I didn't know if that was.
Embargo is the day it's out.
Well, can you remember Persona 5 came out in February?
Yeah.
Streamers weren't allowed to play past the first chapter
Yeah. Or you'll
till
get
July.
DMCA'd.
Till July.
That's mad, isn't it?
You know, so it's and the full game was finally unlocked in November 2018.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's weird.
And it's the same. That's Koch Media and Deep Silver who I think are doing this, aren't they?
Okay.
Believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's a Japanese embargo thing.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking. Or maybe it's they're trying to hide the corpse.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I'm
has
not a big
been-
Shenmue fan. So
There was
I
a
don't know.
demo out for Kickstarter backers, but if you're a Kickstarter backer of it, of course you're going to go in like with a
Open heart and
Yeah.
open
With
an
arms.
open heart. Yeah.
know what
Also,
you mean.
you can't talk about it until
yeah.
No-
and
no,
get
in this,
NBA, baby.
Like
Didn't they release a trailer or something that people were like, "This looks
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no."
I know what you're on about.
and it was the facial animations,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
They, like everyone looked like a robot.
Yeah.
Wasn't that was E3, I think 2017, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
And then they were saying like, don't worry, the face is a placeholder, basically.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they're gonna add that later, which I
A
know.
classic line.
If I remember, this was meant to come out in August, and they pushed it back.
That's like a
Yeah.
Tinder profile. Fucking this space is
I'm
only a
much taller in
placeholder.
real
Yeah.
life. Yeah, I just think that it's a weird one because a lot of people were quite excited for Shenmue.
Yeah,
3,
yeah.
5 years
Not me,
ago, 4 years
but-
ago, whatever. And now it's like now we're here.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any chatter about it. Seen anyone talk
All
about
I've seen recently is that trailer. I saw it on Twitter.
I haven't even seen it.
I've not seen the trailer either.
The fact that you said it's the worst thing ever has got me well excited to see it. That's the best marketing it can get, really. I'm like,
I'll send you a link, mate. It's yeah. So that's it for the 57th Special Moves podcast. Thanks everyone for
that's
listening.
it for the Shenmue series.
We're going
by the sound of it.
to on Google Stadia. We're gonna record a bonus podcast now, even though it's about 9 p.m. and it's like work in the morning and that. But it's all right. We've got Coronas.
Yeah, which
So-
is a classic way to stay awake, drinking beer.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's a Monday, so drinking
yeah.
beer, recording
We'll be
a
back
podcast
in
on
on
Monday.
time next week, though. We'll have the
Yeah.
podcast ready for Monday. We were away, so we're making this effort for you guys. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
sticking around, though.
So yeah, check out the bonus podcast if you're a patron. That's coming your way very soon.
This week.
Send us emails to dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. We had loads this week, which was really good. So keep sending them in. dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. And see you soon, innit? Bye.
Bye.